Hey folks and friends, this is Mike again. Welcome to part 3 of my Superior Drummer tips and tricks series. It's a sunny afternoon here in Germany. I hope you're doing well. I got a question from one of my subscribers, Edu, who asked me if I can talk about a smooth hi-hat triggering in Superior Drummer. This is kind of issue that I often see and hear people talking about. Playing a decent hi-hat on e-drums is quite crucial, and Roland, hands down, has the best hardware and software for a smooth triggering. However, there are ways to even enhance that using Superior Drummer. I've already talked about that, the most complex but the best drum sample software on the market. But you need some work to get your hi-hat really triggered smoothly. But I can show you the way how to do it, like a kind of a 3 or 4 step approach to really get decent results. And the good thing about this one, as for all settings within Superior Drummer, you only have to do it once and then save it kind of a preset and you're ready to go and you never have to think about it again. So first of all, what I like to talk about when triggering your pads with Superior Drummer, the most important thing for all setting is not within Superior Drummer, but in your module. So it's kind of a garbage in, garbage out thing. If your settings within the module are not set up correctly, Superior Drummer won't give you good results. There are some ways within Superior Drummer, and I've talked about some of them already, where you can fine tune and even enhance some things. But Superior Drummer cannot solve some problems that lie into your module. So first of all, I've already loaded up this one. This is the manual for the TD30, because I know some of you or most of you played the TD30. I have the TD12, but it's just the same way, I think, for all the at least newer models from Roland, TD20, 25, 30, even the 50, or in my case the TD12, setting up your hi-hat correctly. The settings for the VH13 and 12 is basically the same. This is the 2-symbol approach. For the VH11 you have different settings, but you make sure you set up your hi-hat within your module correctly, especially because the module needs to know which hi-hat stand you have, which kind of the pressure you have. There's a lot of technique and electronics going on. So if you don't set up this correctly, no correct MIDI notes or smooth MIDI note information will go from the module to Superior Drummer. So really make sure that you set up your hi-hat correctly. The second thing I want to talk about, this is, I think, mentioned here in this well, to set up your sensitivity within the module correctly. My good friend Luke Oswald over from drumML.com once made a good video about that. I will post the link in the description below, how to set up your sensitivity settings for all the pads, not even the hi-hat, within the module correctly, so you get kind of a natural feeling.
If I turn the sensitivity up, and most of the time the default settings, they are higher, so I'm going to crank this up to, let's say, 8. Okay, I had it at 2. I'm going to set this to 8. Now notice when I hit the drum, and if we watch the trigger range here, I'm going to hit the loudest velocity a lot sooner than I would expect to, and I'm going to hit that velocity ceiling, so to speak, before I'm hitting my loudest stroke.
I see a lot of drummers, to be honest, where I see that they don't set up their module correctly. They play way too loud, play way too hard. You see that when they even strike a kind of a middle stroke, not the hardest one. The red light on the module, especially I think from the TD20 and 30, already is like peaking at the red. So really make sure to decrease the sensitivity of the module. It really depends which patch you use, basically. If you use Jobeki, kind of a do-it-yourself solution, original Roland pads or Alesis, everything that works with your modules, you really make sure that your sensitivity is set up correctly, so that your module just sending like the highest velocity, which is 127, only when you really hit your loudest strokes, because this will of course influence the way it feels when you play a superior drummer, especially when you use playing an acoustic drum set. And this is one of the things that kind of annoys me sometimes, because e-drums still have a bad image, but I think in most of the cases this is based on like wrong settings within the model, and people don't understand the model in the software. Anyway, so make sure you set up your hi-hat correctly. Like I said, told you here. Make sure you have the right sensitivity settings. And the last thing, although you should know this, make sure when using drum sample software, no matter what, that you like disable the internal sound of the module. I know Roland has this function. So let's start. I've just loaded up a kind of a hi-hat trigger here. I've loaded up the Rock Warehouse itself, and I just like loaded up the core library. I've made no changements. So let's have a listen. I will go to the mapping page, click on the hi-hat, right click here, and I want you, as I now play the video with my little hi-hat play here, I want you to look at the articulation that is triggered, and to watch my video. I start with like high pressure on the foot pedal, and then I would slowly open the hi-hat and back and forth. So really want you to listen what's happening without any further adjustment, just like setting up the hi-hat correctly. This is what I did first, of course, and just play the groove and look at the articulations. So I think you see it triggers like correctly, kind of correctly, but I had the feeling, and maybe you have seen this, that it's not like a smooth way from the tight articulation, which only triggers when you like really put some pressure on your pedal, up to the open 5 articulation. Like this is a kind of a smooth transition going on. So let's start with, this is important, go to within the mapping page, you have this little preset window here, and you can go to MIDI and MIDI notes. I want you to go to MIDI. This is where the MIDI settings and the mapping can be changed. So you have this note mapping window here, and you have even an eDrum specific window. And as we use, or I use a Roland module, I will go to Roland. And you already see this has changed, because now Superior Drummer loads up the specific hi-hat articulation, or even every articulation and MIDI mapping that Roland modules usually have. So now let's play the groove again, and I want you to listen and watch again if the sound changes after choosing the Roland module. As you've seen and heard, this is all already way better. Like the transition between the particular articulations went better or got better. But when I played the groove, I played this little pattern, I even like thought it still could be kind of better. So what you can then do after like using your setting from the drum module, you have this pedal correction window here, where TuneTrack offers different kind of translations, so to say. This will like even change or fine-tune the transition between the particular articulations from your module. So there is no like right setting, like this one always works for TD30 and this one always works for TD20. You really have to just click on everyone, play the same groove, and once you get the feeling that which one works best for you, because as I said, this is a kind of a whole chain that you need to be aware of, starting with your which pedal you use, which hi-hat stand you use, which hi-hat pad you use, of course, if you set up your module correctly, if you set up the sensitivity correctly. So you see there are a lot of steps way to go, and this is kind of the last thing, kind of the fine-tuning thing. And I like Superior Drummer not because just this one, but this again shows why Superior Drummer is still the best drum software in the market, because this is kind of a real fine-tuning thing to really kind of get over a perfect sound. So I will just try to use this more closed, no curve articulation, and just activate that and play the groove again. Already sounds better for me. Just have a last, I don't know, to be honest, which one works best for me, because I just started from scratch again. So let's try maybe more close curve 2. We'll just jump to the section here in the middle and start again. So I think this will work. As I said, just try it on your own, try those settings. I'm pretty much sure that you find something that works for you. You can always save this as a preset. You see within every menu within Superior Drummer, you can change some things as a preset. Even here, you can just like save the preset with the MIDI mapping. You can always save like the whole setting, the whole kit to your own preset. So you really have to do it once. Maybe there's a need of kind of changing some settings, depends on the drum library you use, the song you want to use. So it really depends, just you have to work on it, like every case in Superior Drummer, because this is a really complex software. But once you find the right settings, I think and I assume that you will pretty much have fun using the software. But again, as kind of a recap, this is the most important part. You really make sure you send the right and correct MIDI information from the module to the drum software, no matter which software you use. Because like if your hi-hat isn't correctly set up correctly, Superior Drummer cannot like solve this problem. So I find this one helpful. I hope this works for you. If you have any further questions regarding Superior Drummer, leave a comment below. I will try to talk about some issues you have. Otherwise, I have some topics still coming on using Superior Drummer. Have a nice weekend, guys. Thanks for watching and see you next time. Bye-bye.